Hello, everyone. Feel free to open your chat box and say hi while we're waiting for everyone to join and to kick off just a minute or so past the hour. I think your chat box will be along the bottom of your screen. For me, it's up here along the top. I'll just type a wee message to start. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Hi, Stuart. Hi, Nick. That's great. So I'm expecting about 25 on the session today. As I say, I will just wait until a minute or so past the hour and keep you around 33 minutes thereafter. Appreciate it's busy and challenging times for you all, so thank you for taking time out to be on the Zoom. Hi, Trisha. Good to see lots of familiar faces on here today. You'll notice I'm in the small study with the bookcase in the background. I know that Zoom allows you to have these really snazzy backgrounds, but haven't yet figured out how that works on my laptop, and trying to contact Zoom for help right now. Bit tricky. I was number 289 in the queue on live chat the other day. So as our adventure with Zoom continues, watch this space as we get a bit cleverer with it. Where are we for time? So it's bang on 2 o'clock. I will give it a minute or so longer, and then I will make a start. Hello to everyone that has joined in the last moment or so. Very strange for me to be sat here talking to a laptop without the faces and the whites of the eyes in front of me, but needs must. A few more people coming on. Hello to everybody joining now. I'm going to make a start, and hopefully more people will join over the next minute or so. So hello everyone, and firstly I hope you're all keeping well and coping and managing as best you can in these tough times. At Robertson, we are really glad to be able to help in some small way by offering you 33 minutes of CPD for free here today. So this is our first adventure into the world of Zoom webinar. More to come. Next week there'll be 2 more sessions, Tuesday and Friday, that I will tell you about before we finish today. So let's make a start. Welcome. And I am seeing lots of familiar faces on the session, which is great. But if you're new to Robertson as a company, we're all about engagement. So for us, we help companies to get and keep their engaged people. Why? Well, it's our belief that everybody benefits when people at work are engaged, agile, confident, and capable. Everything that we do is underpinned by our ethos of simple, creative, and enjoyable. Now, today I am keeping this webinar really simple to get started, and I will be engaging and interacting with you using the chat box and polls. So I've set some poll questions that we'll use throughout the session. We'll be getting more creative as our adventure with Zoom continues. I hope it will be an enjoyable half an hour or so for you. So without further ado, if we can open our chat box again, say hi if you haven't already, and can I hear from everybody on one thing, just one thing, and I'm sure there will be more than that, but one thing that has helped you to work from home this week. So I will jump on as well, and for me, it's been watching the news only once a day when I finish work. So I'll type that in. What are we getting here? Support from colleagues, absolutely. undoubtedly it's a time for that, isn't it? Planning my day out, routine, having the radio on, and we're going to talk about music actually and how helpful that can be. Regular breaks as well, even the quick 2-minute ones, really important. Having a good setup. So we are going to talk also about spaces, having different spaces in the home right now, given we're spending so much time in there. So yeah, quite a few things already that we're establishing in the week that we've just experienced that do help and will help going forward. I can't get out of my PJs. I have to say, it feels quite nice sat here today with my full makeup on and work clothes, because that hasn't been my look this week. So yeah, I didn't want to scare you with my day look at the moment. So again, for those of you not familiar with the way that we do things in Robertson, we like quotes. We believe that a quote gives us a different perspective on things. Now, admittedly, given the times we're in right now, there are so many quotes I could have picked, but I kept it simple. Stephen Covey is the man behind the 7 Habits. He's being quoted a lot on LinkedIn right now with his sphere of influence. But here he's saying to us, the key is in not spending time, but investing it. I guess it's a mindset thing. If we really think we're investing our time in something, it puts a more positive slant on it. And time management principles really are fundamental to our session today. So what will you have? What will you have by the end of this? Superb, quite an unusual word perhaps, but again, for those of you that know Robertson, one of our flagship programs is Superb Meetings. I've stolen the acronym and I've packaged up, us trainers love an acronym, I've packaged up some simple principles using the Superb acronym. You're also going to get that as a downloadable version from our website, and I'll be sending the link to you by Monday. We'll look at lots of specific things that you can do to help. We've already started to explore what has been helping you this week, and we'll look at more things that potentially will help you to stay focused and productive next week and beyond. Thank you for completing the registration form that you did and for giving me one thing you wanted to get from the session. Overridingly, it was about focus, and motivation was popular as well, so much so I dedicated our next CPD in 33 to staying motivated, and that will be next Tuesday. The 2 principles of time management we'll be looking at are around Fergus O'Connell's dance card concept and around brain-friendly time management. And action is what's important, isn't it? So I really will steer you to committing to some actions beyond our session today. So I'd like you to, I've got a poll for you now. I'd like you to complete the poll that I have created here. It should pop up in front of you in just a moment. I'd like you to choose your top answer, because it's a one answer only, and it's around what has been the biggest challenge for you working from home this week. So I've launched the poll now. It should be visible on the screen in front of you, and I'll give you a few moments just to make your choice and tick. And this is completely anonymous as well. So I'm seeing background music or background noise, TV, for example, is being selected. Other people in the home, I hear you. I've got somebody hanging something in a wardrobe next door as we speak. Emails, phone, all the virtual stuff that's been going. Unclear work objectives. So if you've selected something else, feel free, no pressure, but feel free to pop that in the chat box and I'll have a look at that in just a moment. Yeah. Mental health issues might simply be around, not simply, but might be around overwhelm and anxiety, which I know for me has featured at points this week as well. So I'm going to end the poll now and I'll share the results with you. So you should now be able to see what I'm looking at. And it's looking like the top answer right now is it's all the contact, the emails flying in, phones ringing, Zoom or whatever technology meetings are taking place over happening frequently. So thank you for that. I will clear the poll now. I will just go to the comments box and see, or the chat box and see what's coming up here. No proper place to work. Yeah, one of my friends and neighbours was saying her and her husband are both working at home now and homeschooling two children aged 10 and 7 as well. And after day one of both being sat at the dining table, she decided that that had to change. And they've got a downstairs toilet, which is quite a big space. And she posted a picture of herself the day after, having set up a workstation in that downstairs toilet. So creative thinking is required at the moment as well. Okay, let's move on. So I said time management keys were very much going to be the foundation of our session today. Stolen from our time management workshop, some real keys when it comes to successfully managing our time are these four. First one, like most things, is awareness. Being truly aware of what your problems are, what your challenges are, what's not working, as well as what might help. What solutions are open to you, what choices have you got, and what opportunities exist. Once you've got that awareness, you then need to have the desire to want to change. I think it was Einstein that said, if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. So you need to actually want to do something about it and then take that action, the right action for you at the right time. And when we've done that, we need things in place, we need support in place to help make our changes stick. And for us, support systems might be around people, processes, technology. So there are our foundation keys, if you like, to managing our time well. And what about this superb acronym? Well, it's not necessarily rocket science, but it's packaging up some really key things for us that will help right now. Number one, top one there being stay connected. And we saw that coming through in the very first chat that we had on the session. Staying connected with people using technology, staying connected with our team, short, quick check-ins, probably more frequently than you've ever done or needed to do before. I'd like to go into chat with you again just now, and I'd like to ask you, what has helped you to stay connected this week? What would you say that's been? For me, it's been daily calls. I keep trying to type without clicking in. Daily calls with Derek and with my team. And I even say daily messages as well. Yeah, regular calls for you too, Grant. Anything else from anyone else that's really helped to stay connected this week? Yeah, the daily team meetings, Skype, Teams. So whatever technology we've got at our fingertips that we're using right now. Regular comms backward and forward, just, yeah, bouncing things between one another. Calls and WhatsApp. Yeah, we'll talk about WhatsApp. It's fantastic, but it's been a distraction for me. Can't blame WhatsApp, blame myself for that. For you, Nicola, the daily calls as well. So it sounds like it's so important to keep these things going for the foreseeable. So understand the bigger picture. So here it's about everything from understanding what's going on in the world, in the UK and in Scotland, which is changing at a pace never been known before. Understanding what's going on in your organisation, because I'm sure that rapid pace of change is applying to you and your world of work as well. But also important in the understanding bit here is about understanding yourself and checking in with yourself regularly, knowing what your emotional triggers are right now. I guess to give you an example, that there's loads of funny things flying around on social media right now, isn't there? And I've laughed at so many of them. Equally, there's been times when I've gone on and seen something and I've had quite a negative reaction. I've felt almost insulted. Now, whoever shared that has a positive intention behind doing so. But for me in that moment, it's just not what I've needed. So understanding the bigger picture includes understanding you and where you're at any given moment in the day, and what you need, what will be helpful and what won't. Planning ahead is where I'd like to spend a bit of time on with you now and take you into the next slide. And I've got a poll for you. Now, this is a no judgment poll, but it's more of a thought process, and it'll be interesting to see how you answer. But I'd like to ask you about your current planning practices. So let me get this poll up. Right, I'm just finding poll 2, planning. Okay, so I'm about to launch the second poll. Have you planned your work schedule for next week yet? No, 100%. What about the rest of you that have access to the poll, that are able to fill it in? As I say, no judgment. I'm not going to lie, planning isn't something I would say is a top strength of mine. It's something I've very much had to work on. So partially, okay, partially. Not yet, but you'll do it today. Excellent. That is something I will be recommending. Within the last hour of your working day today, it's a great opportunity to plan what next week is going to look like. It's better to do it today than on Monday, if you possibly can. So I'll end the poll now and I'll share with you the results that I can see in front of me, partially being the top answer. So as I say, it wasn't about judgment, it was purely to establish what does your planning look like right now. And let me give you some things next that could help you. So on our time management workshop, we talk about brain-friendly time management. An idea, a concept that is proven from the science world to work. So our vertical axis represents energy levels. Our horizontal axis represents time of day. So we do often talk about do the big task first. Well, yes, but not the very first thing. We look at having some warm-up tasks to transition you into the working day. They could be quick and easy things that you quite enjoy doing that are going to ease you into getting your energy levels to the point where you can tackle the big thing. And Derek, our MD, likes to call this big key task, or likes to use the analogy of banjo the big task, bang a nasty job on its head. That's what banjo stands for. The big task might be something that we are putting off because it might be difficult, challenging, not something we enjoy. So get it over and done with as soon in the day as possible. And follow that by another key task. The suggestion here being that our energy levels are highest at this point in the day. And then a reward task. Now, rewards right now are going to help us stay motivated. Whether a reward task for you is a cup of tea and a biscuit, or whether, like me this week, a reward task might be, once I've achieved X and Y this morning, I will spend 20 minutes doing some homeschooling or playing with the kids. Or it might be, I'll go for a walk. I'll use that time as my walk of the day or time with the dog. Dedicated lunch, absolutely key right now. Get away from the desk, have that time. Again, it might be your time when you go and walk, and if you're not going to use your daily walk, then perhaps get some fresh air. If you've got a back garden or a balcony where you can just get a little bit of fresh air, it will help. Beyond lunch, we're looking at this idea of transitioning back into the working day with a warm-up task again. And a couple of key tasks, maybe not quite as meaty as the earlier morning ones, but a couple of biggies before you wind down with a reward task to finish the day off. And the recommendation about planning is that within the last hour of our working day, we plan the day ahead. We review how the day's gone, plan the day ahead, so that there is that little bit of time built in if we want to finish something off without having to overextend the day. Now is really an important time to make sure those boundaries don't get too blurry. We're at home so much of the time. For some, that could be a real temptation to extend the working day, but we need to think about our own mental health and R&R as well. So this tends to be popular on our time management workshop, a popular idea, and this handout is downloadable with the link that I'll be sending you to the dedicated page on our website. And here's something else. Now, if you've been following our MD, Derek Robertson, on his daily diaries of an SME on LinkedIn, he did talk to us this week about the dance card idea. And it comes to us from an author called Fergus O'Connell. Now, Fergus wrote the book, How to Do a Great Job and Go Home in Time. And he describes the dance card as being a tool for ensuring that you put your time into the right things. What I've given you here is a screenshot of the simple spreadsheet that we use at Robertson and that I've been filling in on a daily and a weekly basis. So the idea is that you categorize the work that you do into codes. They might be around sales, admin, people, project. And then you list the tasks that you're going to do. That's your to-do list in column C. And column D, that's around outputs. Okay, so column C, this is what I'm going to do, task, task, task. But column D, this is what I will have achieved by doing that. And then in the grey columns, it's about guesstimate times. How long am I saying this task is going to take me? We're getting really good at that within our business, knowing how long something takes, which is really helpful in so many ways. The column to the right, the actual column, is what you fill in that last hour of your working day. And it really helps give you that sense of how realistic am I being when it comes to planning my time. So on the next slide, I've zoomed in to give you a sense of what a day might look like. And I have used really generic codes, generic tasks, because right now, homeschooling could come into this, maths, PE and activity time, all kinds of things that we might not have been factoring into a working day before now, keeping in touch with colleagues. And then just that sense of actuals versus guesstimates. And I am not suggesting you should be planning a 10.5 hour working day either. So the numbers can be quite helpful in terms of keeping you realistic, keeping you grounded as well, and keeping you focused. So I have already filled my dance card in for next week. And on a daily basis, as I say, I just go in and correct or complete the actual column to keep a sense of what I'm doing and how long it's taking me. And it really does help me. So I hope this might be an idea that could work for you as well. So back to the acronym, and energize comes next. Gosh, there's so many different ways we could and should be making sure our energy levels are kept where they need to be right now. And I've done a lot of talking, so let's go back into chat and share some things that you've done this week that have really helped to keep you energized. I'm thinking what mine might be. My daily vitamin. I take a Barocca style daily vitamin, that helps. And in virtual meetings, yeah, walking the dog at lunchtime. Yeah, I'm with you there, Stuart. My daily dog walk is so important right now. Coffee and a chat and music. Nick, that sounds lovely. Yeah. It can be the straightforward things that really do help to keep us energized. Walking the dog, stretching exercises. I'm coming to that, Tricia. Yeah. Exercise, music, hanging out the washing. Yeah, it's just doing some wee tasks, but I guess you're also moving and getting fresh air whilst you're doing that, Kimberly. Adam, breaks, lunch, enjoying the benefit of home working. That's coming back to focusing on the positives as well, isn't it? Not having to commute, absolutely right. Saving petrol as well. Mixing in some housework, Paula. I think we're going to talk about routines in a moment, but certainly in our household, we've been having conversations around how can we vary the week routine to the weekend routine, given that we're still going to be in the same place. Alexa. I'm glad we don't have Alexa, Nicola. My kids ask Alexa to do some weird things and we actually don't have it, thankfully. Okay, so thank you for that. Yes, so that's energize. And then routines, building in R&R, building in breathing exercises, building in exercise and meditation, the important things, as well as the work tasks that need to be done, homeschooling, dogs that need to be walked, our daily walk, all important to factor into the routines. And breaks, yeah. So regular, short, sharp and regular. I'm going to talk a little bit more about breaks on one of the slides coming next, but they are really important. I suffered myself a couple of days ago. I had a really productive afternoon. So I was sat here banging away, got loads done. But by the end of it, I'd spent too long in front of the screen without taking a break. And I hadn't had the bottle of water sat beside me. and the result was a pounding headache that lasted all night. So not a good idea. Let me just move us forward. So some more helpful ways of working in challenging times. Just want to do a quick time check. Yeah, so it's banjoing those important, difficult key tasks as early on in the day as possible. That's rewarding in itself, but remembering to reward ourselves on completion. Cut the clutter. For those of you that have seen me in a training room, clutter is, I attract clutter like a magnet. So I've really had to work hard to clear my desk space, certainly for this session, to keep me calm and to keep me focused. Complete a task at a time. Now, there's a popular misconception out there that us women can multitask and you men can't. Well, actually, none of us can. It has been proven that we don't do anything effectively when we try multitasking. So one thing at a time is a really good way to go. Be realistic about what you can do. And if you have a job that involves creating things or designing concepts and ideas, building in your thinking time when you're planning is helpful to avoid time creeping away as well. I mentioned earlier about having spaces within the home. I'm reading a lot of articles suggesting we really do that. Space for calm, quiet contemplation, space for eating together, space for playing games, space for working. Normally my working day when working at home in the normal world would be I'd spend a bit of time in the kitchen downstairs, I'd spend a bit of time up here in the study, but now this is my workspace. Short and repeated breaks, 2-minute ones often, as much as we need to, and remembering how important rest and relaxation is. And even as I'm saying it, I'm very conscious with myself. I'm not living and breathing that one as best I can. I'm perhaps checking this too much and certainly into the evening and not switching off as effectively as I could be doing. Now, some of you, when you filled in your registration form, mentioned about staying focused when tired, how that is a challenge right now. I completely get it. And I'm sure for many of us, our sleep is impacted by the times we find ourselves in. Now, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, I've put the link to the article that these pointers come from. And I'm going to send you that link in the email that comes out after today as well. It's a really good read. And as such, I'm not going to read too much to you around these points. The top one I've mentioned a couple of times now, and this is around we can train our brain or train ourselves to be more concentrated for longer spells. But the short, sharp, quick fix is to divide our work tasks into 20 to 30-minute chunks and then take a short 2-minute break. That break might be to go and make a cup of tea, or it might be to fill the water bottle up or walk downstairs and back. I'll pick out another one around stretching regularly. When we're tired, we get achy. If we've had a terrible sleep, we're likely to feel stiff and probably a bit painful as well. There's so much activity stuff on YouTube right now and Facebook Live. HWiCT is extremely popular to do a bit of activity in the morning. And all the personal trainers that I know have done Facebook Lives to help us as well. But here's a bit that I find interesting about stretching. So standing up and stretching and staying stood for a while is really helpful. Some of you might actually have standing desks, which are great as well. What it says here is a person weighing around 8.5 stone burns an extra 22 calories per hour standing versus sitting, which over the course of a year is almost a stone of weight loss. So for me, that is a really strong argument to stand up more. And music, I'll pick out music boosts productivity. Music has an amazing effect on how we feel and our cognition. And the suggestion to us is that the best music to listen to while trying to stay productive is upbeat, rhythmic music without any lyrics to distract us. Another one around breathing properly. Many of us don't, and there's so much on the internet for us around breathing techniques, mindfulness, meditation techniques. Again, so key and helpful for us right now. But something I found interesting in the article was we can survive more than a month without food several days without water. Without air, we can make it only a few minutes at best, and the world record is 24 minutes. So we need oxygen for energy. Practicing deep breathing techniques, ideally for 10 to 20 minutes a day, is an excellent habit that will help. And the last couple, using aromatherapy. So I don't know if you can see, I've got my diffuser behind me to keep me calm. That one's a calm one. But actually some good smells to help us stay productive include rosemary for enhancing our memory, the smell of freshly ground coffee, peppermint to boost cognition and improve problem solving, and cinnamon to boost memory. And the last one here is around managing our melatonin levels. Melatonin helping regulate our sleep cycles. So this is about getting the right balance of light, working by a window by day to get enough light. This is what worried me when my friend messaged to say she'd camped up and was working from her downstairs toilet, because I know it doesn't have a window. So natural light as best we can, but then at night, setting our devices to dark mode in the evening to help us fall asleep sooner. As I say, more in that article, and it is worth a read over a cup of coffee on one of your breaks. So I hope I've stuck to my 33 minutes, yes, and still a bit of time for our final poll questions that I've got for you as well, to help evaluate and give some feedback on how this has been. So beyond this session, you'll be able to download the superb handout with more detail than what we saw on the slide earlier. We've covered many different actions that can help you stay focused and productive right now. It's about what's going to work and help for you with your home circumstances. I've given you the principles of brain-friendly time management and daily dance card to help you get the most out of your day. So the next part is about thinking, what can I do? What will I do? What might be helpful for me to do to help make next week a good, focused, productive work week for me? So it's your actions, thinking about what you're going to do, what you'll need, what support you'll need, and how you'll reward yourself for achieving them. Next steps before I bring up the poll with the final questions that I'd love to hear from you on. Yeah, that's point number one. Please complete our anonymous. Again, it's anonymous, so please do complete that before you leave the session today. Reflect an action plan. You'll get an email from me by Monday, and it will have that link to our dedicated page on our website where you can download the resources I've mentioned. It will have the link to the article as well. Today has been a CPD for free, and we're really delighted in these times to be able to do it for free for you. We do, as a company, have a nominated good cause charity, Endometriosis Foundation, which is close to Elaine, one of our directors' heart. If you can spare any donations, no matter how small, there's a link to our Just Giving page on the site, and we'd be grateful. We'd also love to send you our newsletter, more CPD from Derek and us as a team every month. And Derek is doing his daily diary of an SME on LinkedIn every day by 4 o'clock-ish. They're worth a watch. If nothing else, they are worth a watch for his wonderful jumpers. And please, next week, come along and join me. Tuesday's session will be at 11 on staying motivated. So the final thing I'll do is bring up the last of the polls with a few questions I'd love to get your thoughts on in terms of evaluating today and feedback. So question number one, to what extent did you get what you wanted from today? So it's a 1 to 10, 1 if you absolutely didn't, and 10 if you 100% got what you were hoping for. Question 2 is around what you found most helpful from this session, with a few options for you to choose from there. Number 3, I'm keen to hear, given our planned schedule for next week, how likely you would be to join in. And number 4, for future sessions, what time would suit you best? And number 5, what day? So if you could give me your responses, it would be fantastic to hear from you. Hopefully you are getting that poll up. Yeah, I can see some responses coming in now, so that's lovely. as I say, really helpful to hear from you with this being our very first Zoom webinar. And it's 2:33. Now I'm not going to rush off, so if you do want to chat to me through the chat box, or I can make you live with your voice as well, please do. Alternatively, drop me an email as well. If you've got any topic ideas for future sessions, I'd love to hear what they are too. And thank you. Final note for me, stay safe, stay in, stay healthy. Join us as and when suits and will be helpful, and take care. I'm going to let that poll run for a moment longer. I'm going to open my chat box as well and see what's coming in. Oh, thank you folks. Appreciate the thanks. My Alexa just started playing music when you said Alexa, Nick, that's hilarious. Thank you. Looking forward to next week as well, Mark. Thank you. Thanks, Tricia and Paula, Kimberly, Adam, Hilary, Stuart, Keith, thank you. Thank you, Nicola. Couldn't do the poll for some reason. Oh, Rydian, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully next time they will work. And certainly as we as a company get better with Zoom, get more skilled with Zoom, I'll be able to help as well. Bye, Tricia, and you. Oh, I've lost my chat box. Thanks for your understanding. Oh, I'm sorry too, Kimberly, but as long as you were here and heard the session, I guess that's the main thing for you. Oh, I've got a Q&A here. Oh, yeah. Thanks for letting me know, Kimberly, and I'm sorry that that did not work for whatever reason. Thank you anyway for joining the session. Okay, I'll end the poll now. Okay, so I'm going to end the session now. And for anyone still on, thank you again. Take care. Please get in touch if there's anything else that I can do for you. Bye for now.